also in jail and prison, so I see what they do and I know what they're about. Am I a racist? No, I'm not a racist. I'm just very much aware. So when you hear me speak of the truth of racism, I'm not talking about all Caucasians, but I am talking about the real undercover racists that they call police. That is supposed to protect and serve. Now, however, today's clansmanship is not the white sheep, but with these doggone uniforms, got badges and guns that they call police. Now, however, if you look back and study a history of these same killings, these same beings, these same false imprisonments, you will find what I am saying is very much so true. How is it that out of all the killings and beatings, that is not one black officer is guilty for such activities? But now, if you recall very clearly, there was a black officer that shot a dog. After he had warned the owner many times to get this dog. But even after that, the website, the internet, and all things hit the charts behind a dog. But yet Byron Carter can get shot down like a dog. And that thing of Sanders Jr. can get shot down like a dog. Sir Smith is get shot down like a dog. Lee Buehler can get shot down like a dog. Kevin Alexander Brown, Jesse Owens, Daniel Roach, and so many others. And you don't get not one response.
Now, nothing, Nathan, none.
And how is that so? And why is that? Oh, but the young brother in Florida, another state, one of him caused a national disaster almost. People were protesting all across the world. Had nothing to do with Florida. I back that too. I support that too. But what about all the Trayvon Martins that got killed right here in Austin, Texas? But I call the attention to you, the people. Make no difference because you're black, white, brown, or whatever you so desire to be. We as the people that place these fools in position down there in Congress, down on the judges' benches, down in the district attorney's office, we the people need to come together and get this mess out of there. It is our voice and our power that empowers them. Now, however, I recall seeing this commercial with the SPCA. Now I'm for animal rights too, but I recall this commercial where this brown shabby dog comes out on the spotlight on the platforms. What this dog was doing, he was speaking out for other animals that have been abused, that have been neglected, that have been killed, that have done all these things. But just like that dog did, I am the voice of you, the people. Because I believe in enforcing the enforcers to enforce the real rule of the law simply because the law says that no man is above the law. That means APD. That means the CIA. That means the FBI. That means the DA. That means the government. But now, however, again, I'll call the attention of every one of you. So you listen for the Royal Society of Civil Rights. You listen for every other organization there is here in Austin. For you, the people. and you come and bring others with you. If it costs me my life, if I have to suffer a little bit for you, the people, but I'm willing to go that way. And even if it costs me to lose my life for you, the people, I'm willing to go that way as well. Because I believe in standing with what's right. I serve an awesome God. And it is no good for us to go to church if we don't believe and stand on the truth. And the other day, the Bible speaks about cruel and unusual punishment. God himself said, thou shalt not kill. And all these things. But what are we going to church for if we don't stand on wholesome grounds of which one he stands for? What is the purpose? So I call unto you, the people. I am Dr. R.L. Johnson, the President and CEO of the Royal Society of Civil Rights. All that I have spoken, and it is so ordered.
Something that was a tragedy, and he flipped it around on him, and now he's using their negative energy against them to create something that's very positive and beautiful. And thank all of you for being a part of it. Thank you, Antonio, for everything that you've done.
Alright, so when I was arrested almost 7 months ago, I didn't expect any of this. I didn't think that when I was sitting in jail that night, when I didn't know who was out there, who knew my story, who even knew that I was missing, whether or not people would judge me after the fact, oh, Antonio got arrested, he must be a troublemaker. I had no idea that that could be turned around in such a powerful way to go on the offensive and start attacking these criminal, corrupt cops who are destroying the lives of peaceful people every day. It's been amazing because at first I was just looking for support from anyone. I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills, and people just started coming out saying, hey, I'll support you, I'll support you, I'll support you. Here's some money. People started volunteering. Harold Gray, I didn't know Harold Gray before this. As soon as this thing happened, he just showed up one day and said, how do I help? And what do I do? He's like, well, if you don't have any ideas, I got some ideas. Let's hold a protest. Other people came out. John Bush, he came out, he had a bunch of ideas. And then people like Monica and Kaya and Comrade and Kit and Billy, all these people just stepped up and just started volunteering their time and effort. And the thing is, people weren't doing it for me. They were doing it for the situation that I was in. And there were just so many people who for so long have seen abuse after abuse after abuse by these criminals in blue, these criminals with badges, and the criminals always got away with it, and the victims were never made full. And they saw this as an opportunity to use my situation, where we had irrefutable evidence that these cops are liars and criminals, and we could use this as a way to expose how bad criminal cops can be, but on top of that, we can expose how corrupt the system is. For example, Austin Police Department Chief Art Acevedo immediately comes out and starts talking about how I spit on the cop and about how he backs his police officers. How many times have we heard the police chief come out and say, I back my police officers? We've looked at the video, we don't think that they broke policy. It happens every single time. Was my case special? No. They accused me of spitting in cops' face. There's so much overwhelming evidence, there's no way they're going to get away with it. But you know what? They did this in Byron Carter's family, right? They did this in the Daniel Sanders family. They're doing it right now in Ahmaud Bradley's family. And it's happened time and time and time again. And we can't, I don't think there's anyone in here except for maybe Debbie Russell or Dustin Johnson that can name every single person that the Boston Police Department has killed in the past 10 years. And most of them were unarmed and shot in the back. So, given that there's these people who are getting killed by the police and the police get away with it, how many people have been assaulted, violently assaulted, broken bones, tasered, sexually assaulted by these guys? How many of these people have been thrown in jail for crimes they never committed? And how many tens of thousands of people have had to pay tickets to the city for things that they didn't do, or at least victimless crimes? It's rampant. It's rampant. The system sucks. It's criminals in charge of the law enforcement agency criminals that fill the law enforcement agencies, and what happens when you have criminals in charge of a monopoly on power is you have a lot of victims. We all become victims to that. So it's not just Police Chief Art Acevedo, though. It's Anthony Hippolito, the PR guy for the APD.
Wayne Vincent.
I'll get to Wayne Vincent. So Anthony Hippolito is the PR person for the Austin Police Department. His job is to slander innocent people. Okay, this guy got shot in the back, but did you know in 2009 that he got arrested for selling cocaine? You know, that's what he does. That's what he does. He tries to paint a bad picture of the person because of their background to somehow justify the criminal activities of their own cops. You know, or then they say, well, he was reaching for a gun, you know, or he hit the officer, and it's always a lie. It's always a, or even this is the best one. This is the best. God forbid, this is a terrible, terrible thing. For us, the community, but they justify shooting a young man who is not even suspected of committing a crime. He was a passenger in a car, and he was shot in the back of the head. And then they go out and they start talking about how he had drugs in his system, or a cop got run over. All lies. They came out with lies, and they try to slander a person's a dead person. They try to slander him. His family is mourning. And this is what these criminals, this is what these corrupt people do time and again to innocent people. And it's a disgrace because they are taking our tax money, most of the time against our will. They're taking our tax money against our will, and then they're destroying our liberties, creating victims out of us, and then they hide behind their badge saying that they had to do this in order to protect us. So, then there's the Internal Affairs organization. Internal Affairs, you can't have cops investigating the cops. It's always a failure. It's like that. And I knew that the system was probably corrupt before I went in there, but I got to sit down with the Internal Affairs, and they started using the word "we" when they were talking about the police officers that committed the crimes that night. I knew there was a problem. When they started defending the actions of those cops, I knew there was a problem. And then when I finally got to hear the police report, when OPM read it to me after they came out and said that the cops broke no policy, I learned how hard they work to distort the facts and distort chronology. It's not that they're incompetent. Incompetence would be a praise for them. They are corrupt to the core, and they are paid by the system to exonerate other criminals within the system who victimize the people. It's corrupt throughout. Now, there's this organization that a lot of people don't really know about or don't think about a lot, but it's the union for the police officers, all right? And everyone knows that unions exist to protect their members. It doesn't matter. Even if you're in a union, that's the bottom line. They exist to protect the union, the people within the union and their jobs. Which, you know, if you're in a factory and you're working, that sounds like a good thing, right? The problem with the police officers union is that the police institutions in this nation and throughout the world have long abused and violated the rights of people. And they become the criminals. Time and again, they become the criminals. And then the police officers union exists to protect the criminals from having to face the same system that the rest of us face. Currently in Austin, the head of the police officers union is named Wayne Vincent. Wayne Vincent, I've seen him at the last 2 CRP meetings, community or civilian review panel. At both meetings, he was in the back of the room, yucking it up, having a jovial time with, guess who? No one other than the guy from Internal Affairs who ran my investigation. The system is corrupt. No one in the APD really works for you. They work for the union. There may be good cops out there. We're just waiting for them to step forward and start arresting all the bad cops. We need the good cops to step forward and start defending the people. And I could talk about the mayor and city council, but you guys probably figured that one out. So this has been a great first step. And what we're trying to do with the Peaceful Streets program is we're trying to change the culture here within Austin. We're trying to get people to rally up around each other and support each other and fight back against the system. And we don't have to fight back with arms. And we don't have to fight back with questionable tactics. All we have to do is fight back with the truth. And all we have to do is expose these criminals, because once people open their eyes, they're going to see plain as day. Again, the criminals walk around in blue. They walk around with badges and guns. And only we here can protect each other. That's why we're handing out 100 video cameras today, so that we can go out into the streets and videotape the cops, and we can hold them accountable. And people who aren't receiving video cameras, they're going to be out there with their cell phone cameras, and they're going to be doing the same thing. And then the next time a cop tries to infringe upon someone's rights, there's going to be someone standing across the street who's going to videotape them, just like someone was standing across the street on New Year's Day for me, who I had never met before, you know, who's a lifesaver. He's a hero. And every single person who goes out into the streets and videotapes cops doing their duty or breaking the law is a hero. So this has been a great step forward. The question is, what are we going to do after this? This is a great event. Lots of people have come out. Lots of people are going to get video cameras. What's the next step? How do we keep going forward? Because you know what? APD is scared right now, and they're really, really worried about how this is going to play out for them, because the criminals are going to be exposed, right? The good cops should celebrate this. The bad cops, they're scared, right? But they're hoping that we hand out all these cameras and then everyone goes home and they sit at home and they never break them out, or they go sell them at a pawn shop when they need some money. That's what they're hoping for. They're hoping that we all just go away. But the next steps for the Peaceful Streets project are pretty ambitious. We're going to do more events like this. Okay, we're going to keep arming the citizens, or not even the residents of Austin, with video cameras so they can expose the cops. But what's really interesting is we're going to take this national. People have already come forward.